What's up, guys? This is Greg Speaks Canes. We're going to dive into this Joe Rose show. We're going to react to Mario Cristobal and what he has to say after beating Syracuse. Let's lock in.
And a little bit of a slow start, first 4 drives, and then, boy, I don't know. The trick play got you going in the red zone or what it was, but all of a sudden, you guys, we've seen this before, just turned it on and didn't look back.
No doubt. Good morning to you, Joe. But, yeah, certainly a little bit of a lack of execution on those first 4 drives, but high-level execution on the defensive side. And then all of a sudden when we did execute, things started clicking in the right manner. And certainly that trick play was fun for everybody, kind of got everybody energized and juiced up. And then from there, started playing good football.
Miami needs to go 3-0 through the rest of the season. And the biggest question is, can they get started right out of the gates? When the ball get kicked off, can this offense gets going, gets flowing, or will it continue to wait until the second quarter, until the second half, and get going? And I'm telling you right now, Miami cannot afford that to happen these next 3 games.
Hey, so I got to ask you about that. I don't remember the last time, if ever, that I've seen a quarterback and a right tackle score in the same game. That was unbelievable. And watching Maui Noah go in there, he said he wanted a little contact going in there. Then I find out when you're recruiting this guy, you promised him, hey, if you come play for the Hurricanes before you leave and go in the first round of the draft, I know you probably didn't say that part, but you said, hey, man, I'm going to get you a touchdown, and you did.
Well, I mean, he needs to be our best recruiter going forward, knowing that we fulfill our promise.
I mean, when you look at CC, he was one of the first big guys that Mario brought into this program. He's gotten better every year. Caught a touchdown pass. And hopefully he goes in the first round, top 10. And like Mario said, he instantly becomes an ultimate recruiter. Then you go to Cantwell, who's coming in next year. Hopefully he can do something similar. And we just continue to be able to get tackles from the high school level to be developed under this program, because going out into the transfer portal, paying those tackles is going to cost you a lot of money.
Hey, there was a lot of really good performances, and this is going to surprise you. I'm going to start with Justin Scott. I know he's been in the rotation playing a little bit. Did you feel like he had a little bit of a breakout game, though? Was a little more active and obviously got more snaps because Moten was out?
No doubt. I mean, the thing is, you know how it is, Joe. The only way to get better at football is to keep playing football. And at that position, man, it happens fast. And he is a really talented guy that we have to keep pushing. But we saw a lot on Saturday. Credit to him he played his best game. He played with better pad level, better hands, ran to the football, had a couple really, really big plays on the speed sweep, on the counter play and whatnot. So really excited about him, his current play, his future, and he sky's the limit for him. So we're gonna push him really hard this week.
Justin Scott, we need you, big dog. We need you. This defense has played well. David Blay, he's played well, but we know he gets antsy, be jumping off sides. Moten, he's dealing with injury problems. Justin Scott, we need you, big dog. Hell of a game this past week.
Coach, so Fletcher, CJ, OJ, and Moten were all out. And, everybody's going, they got a couple key guys on. I was saying, hey, this is great. They got a bunch of young, talented guys from these recruiting classes. I want to see some of these guys get some extended playing time because they're going to have to play, and they did. And I thought a lot of those guys really took advantage of it and made some plays. What did you think about some of the young guys that either got a chance to carry the ball or catch it?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, certainly. I mean, you look at the plays that ignited us. Marty Brown had a great 10-yard run after the holding penalty, and then Dalen Upshaw, explodes on that screen. Great block by the center and by the left tackle, got all the way across the field, Markel, to help spring that play. And that ignited a bunch of really good play by everybody. Obviously a lot of guys are talking about Gerard Pringle and the spark he gave us as well. Dante Simpson played some really good football. Josh Moore continues to play really good football for us. They were bracketing Malachi, Tony, all day, so it was hard to get him the ball. But Scroggins, Simpson, Bryce Fitzgerald, I could go on, but
yeah.
A ton of guys, a lot of burn, man.
Yeah, it was.
That's why I say this team has talent. This team has talent. And it was Dalen Upshaw that got everything going. Then we hit Josh Moore. Then we end up scoring. Then, we ran away with the game. But this team has talent. And that's without OJ, CJ, and Mark. We got to put it together, man, because this team is too talented.
It was good to see. We talked so much about Bain and Mesidor, and they were once again really active and stuff. But, we haven't talked about quietly Keontae Scott and how good he's been, a sack and a pick six, a huge play to put you up 2 scores there within seconds of after you scored that first touchdown. And also Thomas with a pick and a sack and a fumble recovery. How good have those 2 guys been, Coach? It seems like we talk about them just about every week.
Yeah, I think all 3 of those guys. I mean, Keontae has had just a monster year, and just show he's as physically tough as it gets. And he's a good-sized guy. He's not a huge guy, but he's a good-sized guy. He throws it up in there all the time, man. He's awesome. And you've seen Jacoby and Poizer's physicality week in and week out. Those guys have really played at a high level for us, and there's always more room to get better. But guys like Armando Blunt, David Blay, they haven't got much mention, but man, those guys are playing really high level physical football, and just really excited about their continued development.
I believe Keontae Scott, if I'm not mistaken, he's the best transfer that we picked up. This kid he's just different. And I'm telling Corey Heatherman, if you listen to this video, you have to figure out how you're going to replace Keontae Scott. Because the plays that he makes, I don't know if you could just plug somebody else in. Because this kid he's coming violently, he's coming fast, but he's a sure tackler. He's making plays, and I call him Johnny on the spot Scott. Because if the ball's on the ground, he's there to recover the fumble. If the ball's in the air, he's there to pick it off. If the quarterback's dropping back, he may be there to get the sack. Johnny on the spot Scott. And that man has balled out. He has balled out. Jim Thorpe, hey.
Last week you said, hey, we got to clean it up. I don't need to tell you the penalty thing, how bad it was. But you said, I know one thing, we're going to clean up the pre-snap penalties, and you did. That's got to make you feel pretty good. So how do you go about that? And you got a great offensive line coach who you've known forever, has been with you forever. How do you go about when it's the penalties from a group? Do you go in and is it, hey, guys, this is not going to be acceptable? You threaten? Well, how do you get that cleaned up?
Well, I mean, you assess the fact that, number one, these guys are grinders. They're hardworking dudes with a ton of pride, so it's not like they're slacking off. And what we had done, it worked so well for so long, but when we ran into those, issues for a couple of games in a row, then you just assess the entire cycle of the snap, and you make your adjustments as it relates to all of it. And it proved to be a tremendous benefit to us, man. We didn't have any. Really, our issues in the first few drives were just flat-out execution, mostly drops, We had a batted ball. First play of the game's got a chance to go for a long, long way. So a lot of improvement, certainly a lot of stuff to be excited about, and the best part, you get to clean up all the dirty stuff after a win and get ready for a great opponent this week.
Joe.
Salute. Cleaned up the penalties. But let's be honest here. We played Syracuse. Syracuse didn't have a chance to win this game. Even though Miami started off slow, they didn't have a chance to win this game. So you get credit for improving, but now can you start a consistent level of we're not going to commit these penalties? Because let me tell you, it's different being at home, playing a Syracuse game. It's different than when you go and you got to play Pittsburgh for a chance to go to the ACC championship or a chance to go to the college football playoffs. When every snap will count. A little bit more pressure, When pressure gets to you, your body weighs a little bit more. You're sweating a little bit more. Can you concentrate? Congratulations on improving against Syracuse, but now can this lead to a level of consistency to make sure that this Miami team does not beat themselves? We'll find out these next 3 games.
Jojo had one of those drops, Jojo Trader, early in the game that he might still be running on that crossing route. Got great separation on it, and I don't know if he's looking ahead to run before the catch. We've all done that. So he's had big drops in the last 2 games where he's getting time. Is he pressing a little bit, Coach? He's obviously got a ton of talent, and do you talk to him, or how do you stand with Jojo Trader in his play?
Well, I mean, I think like everybody, when you don't execute at the level and the expectation, man, you say, hey, let's coach it better, let's teach it better, let's practice it better, and let's execute it better. And you keep rolling, and you give him opportunities, you give other guys opportunities, and you keep doing what's best for the player and for the team. So the approach is no different. The level of work that we do here is as high as you can push it. So we're just going to continue along those lines.
If it's one thing I know about football, especially in this podcast and content creation era, is I can say one thing, and whoever watching, they can change my words around. I can say something and you can get something totally different from it. But one thing we can agree on is the big eye in the sky does not lie. It does not lie. And the big eye in the sky showed us yesterday or Saturday, what's today? Monday, Saturday, that JoJo had a bad game. Right? Let's throw out all the narratives. Let's throw out all the excuses. Let's throw out all the blame and look at the film. And the film says Jojo Trader had a bad game versus Syracuse. Now, does that make him a bad player? No, it does not. Let's see what this young man can do. Just like when he went off against SMU, does that make him the greatest wide receiver ever? No. Let's see what this young man can do. I feel like everybody wants to stamp JoJo Trader, and it's not just JoJo, it's with all the players. Everybody wants to stamp a player right away. Oh, he sucks. Oh, he's the best. Oh, he's going to be the GOAT. Oh, he was overrated. I'm very, very interested to see how JoJo plays, just like I'm interested to see how this team plays the next 3 games. Because the thing about not playing, and this is why the backup quarterback in most teams, they have the best job because they don't have to go out there to perform. But if the team does bad, all the fans want the backup quarterback in. The thing about it is when you get on that film, narratives and opinions go out the door and you get judged on what's on that film. We'll see what JoJo does the rest of the season. But right now he has some flashes that are good and he has some flashes that are bad.
The defensive side of the ball, I should have probably started with this. It was just like you said, it was just so good. 3 takeaways, 7 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. Just really got after them even when they were throwing it. Somebody was in their face. A lot of times those 2 guys on the outside. How did that rank for the way this defense has been playing? It just looked like there was just absolutely no quit.
Yeah, they get better and better week after week. Level of communication, execution, adjustments. And like always, a few plays they'd like to have back. We're throwing a bunch of young guys in there too, and we expect no drop off. And we've hammered that really, really hard and practiced it really well. So we just want to keep developing guys and raising the level of expectation. But hats off to those guys, man. They just bring it. They bring it all week, and it shows up on game day.
This defense is playing at a college football playoff level. Offense. Can you offense? Come on now. Offense. Can you catch up? The thing about the defense is they got the talent, they got the scheme, and they play together. Yes, they give up a play here or there, but this defense is college football caliber, playoff caliber. The offense, they show that they are at times, and then at other times we're falling asleep. If this team can put it together, it can be special. But that's a big if. Because we're halfway, we're more than halfway through the season, and the offense has showed us that it can't do it for 4 quarters. If they can get to that point and start to get to that, this team could be dangerous because the defense is ready. The defense is ready.
Always, now that you've gone through it and the loss to SMU, was there any concern about what this group was going to look like coming back home to play? Were you concerned at all about that?
No, I thought that they showed up, the entire group, the entire organization made a commitment to showing up with the right kind of energy, and showing up as men of action, man. Just go right at it, attack the things that we need to get better at, and then bring that enthusiasm to practice. Because without that, if you're not practicing at a high level and bringing intensity, mental intensity as much as anything else, and the right type of physicality and execution, it's not going to show up. And credit to the entire organization, everybody, all levels of the organization showed up with a great mentality and great energy.
So Fran Brown, they got a shot on TV of you two. I don't know what was going on, and he's out on the field a little bit, and he's a fireball. Don't get me wrong. What's that relationship like with you and Fran Brown?
It's just competitive, I think people overbook stuff, man, so it's football, man. You know what I mean? Play ball, let the players play, and that's about it. You
don't get caught up when guys take shots or like a comment, I guess he said on TV, we had Miami on the brink of quitting at half before you guys scored a couple of touchdowns. And I know everything gets back to you. You just kind of let that stuff go, and that's part of everybody being competitive.
I don't, the talk game is cheap,
Yeah.
I didn't look like a quitting bunch at 38-3.
No. Hey, that boy Fran Brown said, we were about to make him quit. Then we spanked that ass. Mario said, hey, didn't look like no quitting when we were putting belt to ass. So I don't want to hear none of that. I see you, Mario.
I thought, when I heard that, I thought it might go in the 50s.
You think you understand how this business works?
Of true crimes. Failed Agent Dre.
I don't do the talk.
No, you never have. I got to tell you.
All that bullshit.
You know what? It's funny. You never have when the jabs come in, whether it's in the recruiting side or on game day. Mario, you always bite your tongue on everything and just said, hey, just keep yapping. It's fine, but it will be in my back pocket for sure. Is that correct?
There's grace to handle things the right way in person, and the talk game is cheap, and it's but that deal that was overblown. But again, we live in a sensationalism type society where everything is let's make it like the old WWF, right? Blow it up and trying to make something of it. And anyways, go Canes.
Yeah, no question.
And man, look, it's competitors competing. I mean, it is what it is. I'm trying to win. You trying to win. I love it. I love it because actually, I'm going to be honest with you. Miami sideline around that time was looking dead. Like, they were reporting that nobody was saying anything. The coaches, they weren't, it was just quiet on the sideline. So if the coaches gotta be the ones to go back and forth versus each other to get both teams riled up, let's do it, man. But after the game, it is what it is. We got the dub. No reason to go deeper into it.
But I always find it interesting. Hey, you know what? You guys are, it's so funny. College football is a little different than the NFL thing because it's recruiting in the off season, and it's a transfer portal, and it's everything else. And all you guys in the ACC and SEC and everybody else, a lot of going after whether it's location or just talent and location, going after the same guy. So it really never stops, right? The competition between coaches.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and everybody now at this time of year, you really got to assess and protect your roster, right? All the shenanigans that go college football and whatnot. And then recruiting as well. And then there's one portal cycle this year, so everybody's trying to figure that out. And there's a potential 5-for-5 rule coming out. There's, again, you adapt every year. Every year it seems like there's, 10 different rules that you have to adjust to and adapt to. And you just roll with it and do the very best by the program, the university, and the players.
Hey, Mario, I know you can't talk about it because it's a violation, but everybody in the world that's a Canes fan or a fan of their college, I mean, this recruiting stuff and commitments come out. I mean, you're in the middle of a game and guys are making commitments to you and after the game and a few days before. How do you go about that? I mean, you really can't talk about it. You just block it out, let's stay on it. How do you treat that part of it? Because it's college football is a little different animal because this recruiting thing is going on while you're in the middle of the last part of your season.
Yeah, nothing can ever get in the way of your players, the process, and your weekly, your responsibilities and obligations as it relates to the game and your players. You are always on a daily basis. You have to recruit. But it never does interfere. And you know what? We're over here. We're not looking for verbal commitments because those things are like kind of restaurant reservations you cancel when you don't feel like going anymore. But but we're looking for more. We try to always establish ourselves with the type of relationship that's going to get you a partnership with a player and his family. And it has to be always respectful on both sides. And it's not an easy journey. It's not a straight line. It's not promise laden. It's, you got to work and there's bumps and there's issues and there's injuries sometimes and there's competition for playing time. And as long as everybody's on the same page, knowing that this is part of the process to help your son become the best player and man he can be, then things work out great.
This is why I love the Joe Rose Show, because you get those little snippets that you won't get anywhere else. Mario talking about the process of recruiting and getting players. And he says, look, I don't want the verbal commitment. We want to get into a partnership. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be straight line. It's going to be rocky road. And let me tell you, I feel like he's talking to me because I fall into this, hey, a player commits to Miami, you better stick to that. That's not the real world. These are young men. One day they may want to be a Miami Hurricane. The next day they may want to be an Ohio State Buckeye. But listen to what Mario said. It's not straight line. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be problems to pop up. How you handle that as a coach decides on your or how you handle that as a coach depends on if you're going to get that recruit. If you got a chance at that recruit, if you got a chance at that partnership. And I instantly think about Malachi Tony because people forget Malachi Tony committed, then he decommitted, he reclassified, and there were people who were saying, let him go. Oh, I've seen enough. And Mario keeps on pursuing them, stays with them, and he ends up a Miami Hurricane. Now everybody loves Malachi. Malachi, oh Malachi, Malachi, oh Malachi, Tony. But I just love those little insights of recruiting because, it gives us, what makes Mario such a good recruiter? What goes through these coaches' minds? And I think you really let us know in that little snippet. That was pretty cool. I like that.
One last question about recruiting, if you can answer this. In high school state playoffs start here this week, and you go for the next month, and they end up actually down in Dade County at FIU. Will you have coaches out there? Is that something that's part of the game plan? I know you guys are already looking ahead.
Yeah, you have to see where you're at from an evaluation standpoint. And I don't mean like looking at players. I mean the number. You get 33 for the fall. And then once you hit, you get into December, then it changes again. So you just have to make sure that you don't go past the number of allotted opportunities you get. You'll get me in trouble.
No, I'm not. Hey, people thought everybody's got an article every day on recruiting around here. Hey, final question. Fletcher, CJ Daniels, Frederic, and Moten, obviously really important players. You expect them back pretty soon? Could you have them back this week?
I don't see Fletcher back this week, not yet, but he is getting better and he's getting closer and closer. I don't want to see him back, but it's going to be touch and go. I'll say that, but I'd say it'd be doubtful. I feel great about CJ, Ahmad, and OJ. It's a wait and see. I feel very hopeful about Wesley, the same. He got 12, 15 plays last game and felt really good. So. We got banged up, but for whatever reason, the last 2.5 weeks we got banged up, and we're finding we're just trying to find ways to get healthy and get the other guys ready to go.
All right, hey Coach, thanks. Appreciate you spending some.
So I've been saying 3 games left. Miami has to win out. It's going to be good to slowly start to get some of these guys back. Fletcher on his way. I hope he's ready by the time the last couple games. He's obviously going to miss this week. And then CJ, OJ, and then Moten, all guys that has contributed to this team that we definitely need for the final push of the season. What did you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. I'm out. Peace.